Okay, we ended the last video here on the color changing of the blocks. What we're going to do now is go to home. We're going to do a new, and you have to do assembly for each and every one of these different colors. So we're going to start with a standard IAM. We're going to hit place. Go find where you save those blocks. So mine is called Tetris, so I got to go find my Tetris game, which is here. And we're just going to start, and I'm just going to go down the list in the order that it is, just to make it a little bit easier on my brain. And so mine is dark blue. Yours may be in a different order. Doesn't really matter. Just work down the order that they are when you get to that point. I would follow along with this one first and go dark blue, just because that's what I have, and that's the one that I'm going to be building. I'm going to do dark blue. I'm setting 1 in the center of the screen. The other thing to note is if we look at this document, dark blue has 4 blocks, so 1, 2, 3, 4, so we need 4 of them placed here. So there's 1 in the middle. I do 2, 3, 4, just so that they're kind of all spaced out. And I'm going to hit escape. First thing I do with every one of these is I go up to view, change the visual style so it has shaded with edges so I can kind of see the edges of the block as I build it. And now I'm going to go back to assemble. I'm going to choose one block to ground. It doesn't really matter which one, so I'm just going to click on this one right here, right click, and I'm going to ground that one. Now I know that one is right where it needs to be. Sometimes people will like to place these kind of what it looks like. So this one's going to go like up here, this one has to go here, and this one has to go here for that. And get used to kind of roaming these ones around. But again, there's 3 at the bottom, 1 at the top when doing that. Easiest thing is to start constraining the pieces all in groups for this kind of activity. So I'm going to constrain, we're going to do a flush, and I know that the front of this one and the front of this one have to line up. And I know that the front of this one and the front of this one have to line up. And so that brings it forward. I'm going to hit apply, and then the front of this one and the front of this one will line up. And I hit apply. Now I know that if this is the top piece, this has to line up with this one. So I choose this little section here, and this section here is a flush, and it'll line up. And I hit apply. I know that the top of this one, top of this one, and the top of this one will line up. If your pieces start getting like put together like that one, just hit cancel off constrain and move them back up and down if we need to. But constrain, I'm going to do a flush, and I'm going to grab the top of this one to the top of this one. I'm going to hit apply. Top of this one, top of this one. Hit apply. At any point, you can always hit cancel, and you can move these just to make sure that they are moving in the directions that we need them to. So this one needs to go here, this one needs to go here, and this one needs to go here. I do want room in between them, so I'm going to raise this one up, move these ones out, and these are all going to be mates so that they can hit and bump into each other. So I'm going to do a constrain, I'm going to do a mate, I'm going to choose the top of this one, and what smashes into the top of that one is going to be the bottom of that one. And I rotate it, and I hit apply. What smashes into the side of this one? Well, it's going to be the side of this one. I'm going to hit apply. I could flip this, or I can choose this side right now, do one less rotation, grab the opposite corner, and it's going to run into this one. And I hit apply. Now we need to save this as a whole entire piece. So we do Control S. I'm going to go with Tetris, and I'm just going to call this one dark blue assembly. And then I'm going to hit save. I'll do another one with you, and then I'll kind of let you I'll end the video and you can finish up the rest of them. So let's go ahead and let's do a little bit trickier one. So let's try the red one. This one, everything's just flushed together on the front, flushed on the top, and then individually mated together. So let's do the red one, just because it's the top and the bottom right there. So grabbing this, we're going to X out of this, or you can leave it up, it doesn't really matter. New, standard IAM, place, we're going to place the red one this time. Again, you can go in the order of these as they go then, so you don't accidentally do multiples, but for the demo, you'll probably want to do the ones that I'm doing. So open, I need 4 of them still, so 1, 2, I'm going to place 3 and 4 up here. And the reason being is this is kind of the shape that it needs to be. I'm going to ground one of them, doesn't really matter. I could choose this one up at the top, so right click, ground. This one doesn't move, the rest of these do. Again, you can always go through and kind of place these where you think they need to be. This one needs to be here, this one needs to be here, this one needs to be here. There's no real use for that, you don't need to. All of the fronts are still flush because they're flat on the front. So we're going to constrain, flush this one to here, hit apply, and I just realized I didn't change the view style because this is really bugging me. So I'm going to go view, visual style, shade with edges. You don't have to, but again, I recommend it. Going back to assemble, constrain, front of this one, flush, front of this one, apply. Front of this one to the front of this one, apply. What else needs to be flushed? Well, the two of these tops need to be flush because if we look at our drawing, those two are in line and the tops of these two are in line right there. So we do the top of this one, top of that one, apply. Top of this one, top of that one, apply. Now is where you're going to want to get some mates in there. So I'm going to cancel this one. The only movement you have is forward and backwards like that one. So I'm going to start with that. I'm going to hit constrain, grab the inside to this one. What do I want to smash that into? I'm going to smash it into this side right here. Again, I'm on a mate. I'm going to hit apply. I need this one to run into this one. I hit apply. I'm going to cancel so you can kind of see the motion that I have left. These go side to side. This one doesn't really move because that one's grounded, but this one goes side to side. And it'll go up and down, side to side. It will not go forward and backwards though that way. So we have two different constraints that we need for that one. So we need to stop the up and down motion, which will be the first one we do. So constrain, grabbing the top of this one or this one, makes no difference. And what do we want to run those into? We want to run it into the bottom of this. And we hit apply. Now we need to stop it from going here and here. The problem is it can slide past each other and I can't reach that little space right there. So I'm going to show you a different button. Now if you do this a different way, you don't need this button, but it's kind of useful, so I like to show it. I'm going to do constrain. I'm going to do a flush of here to here, and that's going to make the square, which is the yellow one. Whatever. Right here, before I hit apply, there is an offset button, and I can type that offset. Well, if each one of these blocks is 1 by 1 by 1, my offset would be 1. If it goes the wrong way, you can put a negative in front of it, and it'll go the opposite way. But in this case, it went the right way. I do want it to be this way. Also helps if I don't type 11. But then you hit OK. Make sure nothing moves, everything's good. Look at it from the front to make sure it has that shape that we want, just like this one right here, which it does. And we go ahead and hit Control S and save this one as red assembly. Hit save. Go ahead and do the rest of them, and then this will take us into the video of making the border, and then we'll make the actual game itself and play the game in later videos. Good luck.